Welcome back to Top 5 Tuesdays, the weekly episode where I go on about the top 5 blanks of a Rubik's Cube or the Rubik's Cube community. I hope you enjoy watching this video, and if you watch all the way to the end, you can be a part of next week's video. So today we are going to be taking a look at the top 5 misconceptions of cubing. So, number 1 is that cubing makes you smarter. This couldn't be further from the truth. Cubing does not make you smarter, and if anything, it makes you dumber because you waste a lot of time trying to learn how to do these cool things with the Rubik's Cubes. And to be fair, it is cool and it is a lot of fun, but sure, we have really good studying skills because it takes a lot of memorization and studying to know how to solve one, because you need to study all the possible patterns and know what to do in each case scenario. But it also comes down to how you are spending your time. Obviously, some cubers are better at this than others, but there are some cubers who waste days trying to learn algorithms. I'm not going to name any names, but there are some people who actually learn 4,000 algorithms just to get a little bit faster at 3x3. I don't have any problem with that. I think that's really cool, but maybe there are some better ways we can spend our time. Cubing is a very time-consuming hobby. The second biggest misconception with cubing is that you can solve a cube one face at a time. Now, that is debatable because it is theoretically possible to solve it one face at a time, but it is not the most easy, it's not the most simple, it's slow, and it's quite difficult. The proper way to solve a Rubik's Cube is to make a cross, put corners into that cross, put F2L pairs into that cross, then do the last layer. There are many ways to do the last layer. Some do involve making a yellow face. So the third misconception that I have right here is that you need to be good at math. And to a degree, you do need to memorize some of the exact same things that mathematicians need to memorize. But I think that this comes from the stereotype that Rubik's Cubes are for math teachers, and math teachers are the only people who know how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Look at me. I solve Rubik's Cubes in under 20 seconds, and I am in no way qualified to be a math teacher. So the number 4 is that there's a trick. Now, the definition of trick can vary between person to person, but my definition of trick is that there is one thing that you can learn that will immediately teach you how to solve any Rubik's Cube, and that is just not true. There are hundreds of thousands of algorithms that you need to learn to be able to solve Rubik's Cubes, and most people will only learn about 100, but there are so many algorithms out there that can do different things on a Rubik's Cube. And in order to solve a Rubik's Cube, you need at least 4 algorithms. And for the beginner's method, which is even more, you might need in between 7 to 10 algorithms, depending on which method you use. So here's a misconception that I even had as a non-cuber, and that's that all Rubik's Cubes are difficult. The fact that there are many different Rubik's Cubes with many different layers and many different shapes should put the idea into your head that all Rubik's Cubes are challenging, right? Well, there are some certain ones that are not challenging. We talk about Rubik's Cubes that have many layers, but what about ones that only have one layer, the 1x1x1? Now, we all know that this is the hardest Rubik's Cube in the world, but for some people, it's actually the easiest Rubik's Cube, and in fact, the only one they can solve. But there are other things like a 1x2x3, a 2x2x1, and a 3x3x2 that are all incredibly easy to solve. So, for a shout out in the next video, comment down below how many Rubik's brand Rubik's Cubes I own. This does include any broken cubes or any heat sensitive cubes. As always, remember to join the Patreon. There are courses available there, and I do exclusive giveaways on my Patreon as well. So if you want cubes or merch delivered to you for free, highly recommend joining the Patreon. Also, maybe check out another video. I know you enjoyed this one.